Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. I am your host Sleepy Celestial. Now guys, let's get right into this. So this is going to be the last chapter of chapter 1 of my Beyonce visuals. Now that Beyonce has officially will be kicking off her Cowboy Quarter tour on starting on Monday, let us look back on what I said before, as well as the visuals that's going to impact the Cowboy Carter set list. Also, I have an idea of what her set list will be like for her opening night. If I may be right, then you heard it here first. So like I mentioned before, Cowboy Carter is not just an album, it's an anthem, it's a reclaimment. She is depicting herself as the new George Washington of culture. It's very significant of how she portrays Cowboy Carter. Also becoming album of the year itself, it's a lot to think about. When you think about the horse, almost as if like she is reclaiming or almost like refounding. She's like considering herself like a founding father almost. If you think about how Cowboy Carter is cemented in the position that she's in, it almost feels exactly like that. And like I mentioned before, chapter 2 will be on its way. We will be taking a small intermission break from chapter 2 before we head to it. American Requiem opens up a plethora of conversation. It stirs up a lot of emotions for America, and it almost predicts the political climate that we are in. Instead of causing more chaos, she asks us to let more love in. She asks us to echo our reason for not only revenge but to fix the wrongs of the past. I think this is probably the strongest opening, like I mentioned, from Cowboy Carter. And if my set list will be correct, she might kick it off with American Requiem. But the way she will kick it off, it will probably be her sitting there. Partially will play off, I think, what is it called? The Texas Hold'em. And then she's going to kick off American Requiem, just like in the teaser trailer. Now let's look upon the extended visuals that she released on the Cowboy Carter book set. Now this could be considered daughter. It's cool to match the imagery with each of the album. Now mind you, this album technically has 30 tracks, with the second to last track, which is Sweet Honey and Bucket, is actually 3 damn songs. And then closing it off with Amen, which is a very spiritual journey towards country. And like I said, the way I'm going to talk about the documentation of Cowboy Carter, listening track by track, is going to be very interesting. Even though she's going to be kicking off on Monday, we still have this week to cover 5 tracks and dissect it. This could definitely be Spaghetti or Riverdance. It's so cool that from Renaissance, she gave us a set list of what she was going to wear with Balmain. And then Cowboy Carter, she basically gave us a digital book of what she's anticipating to wear. If I'm predicting this right, Cowboy Carter is set to be even bigger than Renaissance, depending on how she's going to do it. Now, I was kind of confused about how it's only 30 shows, but when you look upon how many nights she's going to do for every show, that it will explain the entirety of the Cowboy Carter experience. Now, this could definitely be Dolly P or Jolene cover, which is cool. Like I said, I think each imagery explains the depiction of what she's going to put for the visuals, as well as the extended visuals that she might put for this tour. Like she did with Renaissance, I think that she's going to be basically showing glimpse of Act 3 as well as the visuals for Act 2. And if you look online on Vimvo, you would see that when she plays the track, there's almost like an Act 3 symbol of a stage playing in the background. And I think this could also be Desert Eagle or Daughter. Like the way she's depicting these visuals for Act 3 or even Act 2, it's going to be very sequenced with the multiverse that she is creating and then cementing. Like I said, this is nothing like we've seen before. I've been saying this, that those 3 acts feels like it's something even bigger than those 3 acts coming. If you think about her 9th studio album, and then whatever she plans on doing next is gonna be very, very crazy. You know, like I said, Beyonce is known for dropping hints on top of hints. And like I said, these cover might connect it to a bigger journey to come. I said this before and I'm gonna say this again. Maybe for her 10th album, it might be a reunion album with the original 4 Destiny Child ladies, which will make the Destiny Child back to 5. And I have a weird feeling about that, because ever since she renewed her vows and the Renaissance, and almost as if she is reclaiming the enslavement of country, because she's depicting herself as Abraham Lincoln from one end of the spectrum, because of this could definitely be Daughter, or I don't know. It's hard to depict what imagery she's portraying from which track, and I think that's what's beautiful about it. And it almost feels as if she is giving us Smoke Hour by Willie Nelson on the track, but also she's depicting a lot of imagery of America. She's basically giving us a history lesson on America, and I cannot wait to see if it's going to be very politically charged or not, because when you think about Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us on the Super Bowl, as well as when you looked upon This Is America by Childish Gambino, which I cannot wait to cover, because I feel as if Childish Gambino, Kendrick, Beyonce, they have something very, very in common. I've been mentioning this also before. I think I didn't mention this. Kendrick Lamar's The Big Steppers, as well as Lemonade, has a very strong but yet connection, even though they came out so separately. And then the Bandit, Beyonce, I feel as if this is definitely a Desert Eagle vibe or Riverdance. Like, there's so many things that the Western energy that I'm getting from this album, how this is gonna betray, and how is the set list is gonna combine. I think songs that we would never think that could woven with country, and how she would make it, creating a whole new spectrum of genre. And the way she combines country with soul, and it's very intriguing, I would say, because you would never expect certain songs. The same way when she opened it up with Dangerously in Love, and how it didn't sound nothing like previous things, but mind you, it was an old song. So as she matured more into the, I would say, field, I think that Beyonce was able to create something that was timeless. And a lot of people ask, like, okay, do Beyonce really have timeless songs? She do. It's just the way Beyonce's strategy works when it comes to her timeless songs. It's very it's very strange because it's like when she sings it, it seems like it was made for now, and I think that not a lot of artists do that. Like their songs will sound completely different, or their tone. Beyonce's tone is basically has been leveling up more and more and more and more. And like I said, I cannot wait to see what she has in store for opening night. Now, mind you, opening night is like a test drive. And I remember that very vividly because if you look back on the Renaissance, which is now basically 2 years old now, and when she released Renaissance, and how when she did the tour, the first opening night, it felt like everybody was kind of nervous because this was her first year, back, and even the dancers reflected on that. But as the show went on and on, it's like everybody got more and more and more focused. Now I'm not sure if this was a plan or deployed plan from Beyonce, like, okay, we're not gonna do too much, but we're gonna do just enough to see how this is gonna go. And I think that's what made it cool, because it's like she's now, before I think Beyonce's energy was very chaotic, but I think now she is more, she hit the bullseye on the needle so cleanly now that it almost feels as if she's not wasting her energy. She knows she's a high performer, but now she's reflecting that on her the way she strategically put out her shows. Because remember, Beyonce used to do shows like 100 shows, 128 shows. That she used to tour a lot. And then, even though it's due to age, but I feel as if she's smarter now when it comes to how she put out things, and the culture impact is there because she doesn't have to be out so much to do something else. And like I said, how will this denim horse play larger into the Renaissance Cowboy Carter era? How this horse is going to appear is going to be very similar to, I think, Renaissance, and how the horse is going to be approaching the stage. Now this stage looks massive, and I'm not sure how this is gonna, it all depends on theory, but I can assure you guys that this horse will definitely make an appearance. Or that would be interesting, that Beyonce show up in an entire horse just to be on the Cowboy Carter set, or if everyone's gonna show up in the Cowboy Carter with a horse. That would be insane. Now I'm thinking, can the stage hold all that type of freaking saddle? But Lord knows. But like I said, one thing I know about our gracious queen is that when she do a tour, it's gonna be worth the money. And I always say this, like, I pray each and every day, I wish Michael was alive, or Prince. And shout out to Prince. Happy happy Remembrance Day to Prince, due to the fact that yesterday was considered his passed away in 2016, and now 2025. So I always miss some of the greats. So shout out to Prince and his family. I pray on that for them. But thank you guys so much. Like I said, chapter 2 of my Beyonce experience will kick off soon. But for now, we will take a small intermission break, which we will now turn our heads to track and field. So I'll see you guys soon. Like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll start off chapter 2 this week. Bye bye.